Sorry to stop the countdown counter. I just want to say I know how exciting this event is for everyone. A lot of people have been working really hard on this. So I just want to say... Dawn Winery, we have a sale...
Hey, what's the matter with you? We're trying to do an event here! Hey, raise a sick 'em, boy!
Ah! No, boy! Don't!
Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Brasswinds of Freedom, for the lovely music intro. Hello, fellow travelers. I'm Nick Cruz, aka VoiceofCross. Welcome to a special event that is Spectrum Impact. We have a wonderful show for you today. We'll be showcasing many talented members of our Genshin community. We'll also be doing a charity fundraiser and a very special interview with Corina, the voice of Paimon, later on the show, all while celebrating autism acceptance. But before we get into the event, I want to take a trip down memory lane of some of the past events we recently had on Genshin's 1.3 update. Some fans were a bit confused with Jai Tong and his awkward TikTok filters. But things got even weirder when Jai Tong hired Nickelback to help promote the photo swapping.
Look at this photograph!
Fans were all excited to begin rolling for the next banner as much hype was built for guy who spends too much time at Hot Topic but never buys anything, Xiao. And speaking of not buying anything, technically, Zhongli got his buff to many fans alike. He went from crying kid playing in the sandbox to the CEO of the GEO! Woo! GeoDaddy is making a statement, and boy does it feel good. It's an absolute thrill to bancho my enemies now. Speaking of feeling good, the Lantern Ride Festival had some fans excited as the game introduced its first copyright-free Guardian of the Galaxy character known as Guardian of the Leeway, Starsnatcher.
Hey, you know what? There's another name you might know me by. I'm Starsnatcher.
Who?
I'm Starsnatcher, man. You know, legendary outlaw.
Move!
I forget this.
We got a great show for you guys. As a reminder, everyone, to stick around for the stream. We have a couple of special guests along with the raffle we're currently running. If you donate to Brandon's Voice, you have a chance to win a prize, and there will be multiple winners. We're also raffling away signed prints from Corina, the voice of Paimon, and other various merchandise. So how do you enter, you may be wondering? Well, here are the rules. For every $10 you donate is 1 ticket. The cap for donation is 5 tickets, so $50. If you donate more than $50, you're going to get my thanks and a virtual high five from me. So, virtual high five in advance. So make sure you keep your receipt and send it to openhousestudiox@gmail.com with the subject Spectrum Impact Raffle for approval. Once we get everyone's submission, it will take a few days before we announce the winners via Twitter, which is at VoiceofCross, and YouTube, right here on Dub Mayhem. So some of you may be wondering, what is Brandon's Voice? Instead of me talking about it, let's take a look at a video from our friends.
how I'm doing. I'll experiment around with this big wooden spoon and serve myself up at the 1:45 noon. So bring out your stool bowls, you gobbers and snackers. Farewell, and I hope you enjoy me with crackers. For clapping.
Wow, that is an awesome organization. Personally, I'm a big believer of the positivity it can bring. As a fellow member of the neurodiverse community, I say thank you. I suffer from severe panic disorder, anxiety, and depression, and seeing an organization that cares means a lot. With that being said, let's meet some of our fellow community members. Our first spotlight is one of my team members that I'm so lucky to have. I met Maddie by accident through a casting call from a project I was conducting, but sometimes fate brings us good people on our journey. I had the great pleasure to interview Maddie, who also shows off their Shin Show impression. Let's take a look. Hey everyone, I'm here with Maddie, who's one of my team members working on with Dub Mayhem. We do a lot of different comic dubs. Now, I've been very, very fortunate to work with Maddie. Maddie has been wonderful enough to join me. Hey Maddie, how you doing today?
Hey guys, I'm doing great today. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing absolutely wonderful. We have an amazing charity event going on called Spectrum Impact. And you and I are also very, very big believers of the arts. We have a lot of love for the Genshin Impact game. We got so much we can discuss, and there's so many things I'm so excited to talk to you about. But let's start off with yourself a little bit. So, Maddie, you've been playing Genshin Impact for a little while now. What has the experience been like for you?
Oh my gosh. Overall, it's been a very, very positive experience. I started in early November, maybe November 2nd, and it's such a great story. There's such a great atmosphere. There's just so much to love, so many characters, Something for everyone, really.
Yeah, and with that being said, there's so many different characters. It's a very, very expansive world, right? It honestly does feel like you're going into these big journeys, especially when you start off all the way in the beginning near Mondstadt and then making yourself way to Liyue. You can have these different presents. You have these different forms of music and everything. It's just such a big world of life and nature, and you meet all these wonderful characters. Those characters have different personalities. So what are some of the characters that you can relate to?
I definitely relate to people like Klee and Bennett for their clumsiness, but crazy optimism and fiery spirit, quite literally.
Yeah, it's so cool because with Klee and Bennett, it's the funny thing about them that I really like is that even though they're unlucky if you think about it. You have Klee who just destroys everything, who blows up everything she touches or looks at, it explodes, and she's always locked up in confinement.
Misfortune.
Exactly. And then you have, Betty Boy, the unlucky one he calls himself, who's unfortunately born on a leap year, so he's 4 years old technically. But both of them are always very positive and have this great energy. And they live around the world that they're currently in. And it's so good because even for yourself, when we work together, you have this very bright and bubbly experience and ready to go on a new adventure, especially since you're a new actor. And you also can do a very good impression of Shincho. Is that correct? You can do a pretty good impression. Can we hear a quick hello from Shincho?
Yes, absolutely. Hey guys, it's me, Singcho.
Oh, I love it. It's like you're actually hearing Shincho in my ears right now. It's an amazing experience. It's like Shincho's ready to go over an entire Chili's menu for me, I guess.
Hi guys, it's me, Singcho, eating Chili's.
Not sponsored, but
oh yeah, definitely not yet.
Not yet, or I don't know, we'll see. But speaking of these characters and this expansive world, as we mentioned earlier, this universe has different forms of music, and music is a universal language in my beliefs. And what about you? What do you think about the wonderful music the game has to offer?
It's so powerful, honestly. Most of the time when I'm playing games, especially open world games you have to grind out games, I usually turn off the music, but I always keep on the music for Genshin Impact, especially when I'm around Liyue. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite.
And the good thing is I can also 100% agree with you. I don't know if this was your experience, but for me, when I first entered Liyue and I heard the music, I stopped and I was like, wow, this is something I've never experienced before in a video game, where we have this mobile open world game,
right? And
the music is what kind of makes you stop and look around the entire environment, and you're just like, wow, this is beautiful. Or even just to stop by and in Junyun Curse and just listen to the music and just see all the hard work the team has put on, and they've done such a great job. And these guys have been great enough to actually let us host this event. And our big focus for Spectrum Impact is we want to talk about autism acceptance. Now, there is many people who might not know what autism is, and I know you mentioned to me before in our team is that you're on the spectrum. So what can you tell us about it?
Autism, for me, is a whole different perspective on the world. It's limitlessly different than anything else I've ever experienced, even though I've dealt with it since I was born. I was diagnosed back in 2019, and it's just given me a lot of clarity and just, a lot more explanation to the things that I do, why do I say that, or how can I not express things the same way other people can, or why don't I feel a certain way that other people do. So having my diagnosis and finally coming to terms with who I am has really helped me over time.
And so with that being said, it kind of gives you a unique experience, your own journey, and very much just like Genshin Impact is, just the way that we all take it in and what we experience may be different for everyone, and we're all on our own journey, and we're all meeting different travelers along the way. Now, Maddie, do you think you could give us some inspirational words for our fellow community members in your Shinsho voice that you can give us?
Yes.
During difficult times, continue to persevere.
I love it. I love it.
I don't know, I just came up with that one.
It's true. Right now we're going through a lot of tough times, but if we work together as a team, as I like to say, one team, one dream, we can get as far as we can. And where can they reach you out if they want to do some collaborations with you, Maddie?
You can reach out to me on www.castingcall.club/m/u-maddies, and my Instagram is also @u-maddies on Instagram.
Thank you so much, Maddie. It was so great to have you part of us in this interview for Spectrum Impact. Not only are you an awesome teammate, but you're a great community member. Thank you so much for joining me in this interview. Now, guys, make sure you check out Maddie. I'm also going to post down below a link where you can follow a short little journal article where she talks about autism. So for those who are wondering to get to know a little bit more about Maddie and what the autism spectrum is like, make sure you take a look at that below. So let's see what's coming up next on Spectrum Impact. A big thank you once again to Maddie for the interview. If you're just tuning into the stream, as a reminder, right now we're doing a charity fundraiser for Brandon's voice. If you donate to the charity, you have a chance to win a signed print from Corina, the voice of Paimon, along with some awesome merchandise. Speaking of Corina, make sure you stick around. We have a special interview with Corina later on as we continue to celebrate autism acceptance. I had the great pleasure to meet a lot of awesome fans and ask them what their Genshin experience was like for them.
There's a saying that stories are good as those who share it with heart. Over the years, stories have been passed down from generation to generation. The following stories from our fellow travelers are no different. I've received many letters from all around the globe. Now, I'm happy to present some of these to you, but before I do, I want to thank everyone who submitted. It takes a lot of heart and courage to be open and humble. My first letter comes from Theo. Theo is a 20-year-old autistic who loves Hu Tao. Theo loves that Hu Tao's quests discuss grief with loss and moving on. Theo relates to Hu Tao as Hu Tao tends to not understand why she gets dismissed with her offerings of partnership or those being upset at her. Some traits Theo says relates to autism. Theo loves the running sound Hu Tao makes as it is stimulating, and I want to thank Theo for sending this letter. My second letter comes from Marcienne. Marcienne is a SPED teacher, a traveler diagnosed with ADHD and sensory processing disorder. Marcienne shares their experience of playing by synesthesia. For those who don't know what synesthesia is, it's the ability to have a smell and color or palettes of characters you get attached to. Marcienne goes on to explain that the first two characters they could smell were Chi-Chi and Child. The smell Marcienne associates Chi-Chi with is star ensign, which is like most spices a bit too strong until the smell becomes a gula melaka, which is the pleasant and sweet smell. Child, despite Marcienne's love for the character, had a worn leather and musk scent. However, Marcienne smells spearmint when Child is in combat. Marcienne loves Zhongli's smell. Marcienne smells Maya Lagao, a calm afternoon snack, along with aged paper, a very comforting smell. Lastly, the latest team member Marcienne finally got a scent for was Venti. Despite being a team member for a while, it was hard to find the right smell associated with him. Now Marcienne smells lemon. Not the sour kind, but the bitter sort of lemon rind, like a hint to holding on to his memory of his deceased bard friend. Thank you, Marcienne. The third message we have is from Spotty Blue, who has sent a video clip.
Due to autism, I have difficulties making friends in real life, but I make friends online and even in Genshin Impact. In Genshin Impact, I also made a lot of adventures with characters, and I went and explore the area in Genshin Impact and a lot of combat, a lot of co-op, For my favorite Genshin Impact character is Razor. He's a good-natured boy, and he wants to protect his friends and family, and I would like to do that, like me, you know.
Thank you, Spotty Blue, for taking time to submit. We had another video submission from another fellow traveler. Let's take a look.
Hey, I'm autistic and I play Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is one of the activities I've been hyper-focusing for about 2 months. The colors were so friendly and all voices and music were so soothing and calming. Even if I had a school, I would put the game in the background and be sure that Venti, Xiao, Bennett, or Xinky were there. Well, Venti is my comfort character. I can't help but jump and move my arms because there's so much energy and euphoria. He's what I always wanted to be. I always wanted to sing songs and help people and be free and all on my own. And he's, well, Dad. Hearing his laugh or reading his nostalgic stories, well, I know he has given me something to look forward to. I even have plushies that help me go through the day, and I strive to be their bard, as if they were my Barbados. So, yeah, I'm thankful to Genshin Impact and their creators and programmers and every character in the storyline as my hyper-focusing activity and my safe place. Yes.
My last traveler testimony is the one that was not submitted, but was a catalyst to push for the idea of Spectrum Impact. In December, I saw a post on Facebook that was from a mother who played Genshin with her son. Her son was usually mute, and the mother was having a difficult time trying to find ways to connect with her son until Genshin Impact came around. For the first time in a year, her son spoke and said, "Let's go on an adventure with Bennett." With a tear in her eye, she said yes, let's join his adventure team. The son would love to train Bennett by doing 20-minute sword practice by slashing in the air and running on the beach to build a workout. The son has been more open and even for the first time said, "I love a game that allows me to be me and go on an adventure I never could." My dear travelers, I thank all of you for your submissions. May your journey continue to help find your story and bring you prosperity.
It's incredible to see how much this game has made an impact to fans all around the world and in our hearts. Speaking from a personal point, Genshin Impact is such a wonderful game. Playing co-op with friends and listening to the sweet music as it destroys whopper flowers just leaves a twinkle in your eye. The game has brought in many talented fans from all around the world. I've seen so many insanely talented community members show their Genshin pride by doing cosplay, art, and content creation. We want to celebrate our near-diverse friends. Let's show some of our fellow cosplayers in a quick intermission provided by Brasswinds of Freedom. Also, for those wondering in the chat, how do I get those fun emojis? Now is the perfect time to be a member of my channel to get exclusive emojis and first look at videos and streams. Let's take a quick break. Big thank you to the cosplay community submitting such wonderful cosplay. Also to Brasswinds of Freedom for the intermission music. One thing for certain is I can't wait for convention season to return. I really look forward to seeing cosplay in person again. Also, someone please dress up as a group of Klees and chase someone dressed up as Razor. Maybe even get some of those soft red beanbags and have a beanbag war. Just be aware that it can land you to solitary confinement. We have more talented community members to showcase. For our final community spotlight segment, I am so excited to share this with everyone. Coming up is the Artist Spotlight. Let me say this. Genshin, hands down, has the best community artist ever. The art we have seen from the Lantern Riot Festival was amazing. Speaking of art, everyone's favorite super chill and totally not Bob Ross artist Albedo. Albedo is famous for making paintings come to life, but what we can never forget is the time Albedo had to be a stand-in for Leonardo DiCaprio during Titanic.
It's a rare vision. Albedo, I want you to draw me like one of your hilichurls. Using this.
Alright.
Using only this.
Well, should have used the Pyrovision instead. So many artists have submitted for this event, it was hard to pick which ones to keep. Let's take a look at submissions and enjoy some sweet cover music by Brasswinds of Freedom. It's incredible how talented the artists are. A big thank you for all the art submissions. I also want to thank everyone who sent in some personal drawings for our community art wall. I feel like a proud parent right now. Forget the fridge. It's on the wall now. Thank you again. Look at that. Proud of you. Now don't go anywhere, folks. Coming up next is our interview with Corina, the voice of Paimon. As a reminder, don't forget, right now we're doing a fundraiser, and if you donate, you have a chance to win a signed print and Paimon merchandise. And there will be multiple winners. We have met so many talented community members, and I want to thank all of you guys for your hard work, love, and submissions. Speaking of talent and hard work, let's meet our special guest, Corina. Let's head to the interview. All right, so thank you guys so much for coming into the stream. And we've been always say we saved the best for last. Hey, Corina, how we doing?
We're doing great.
Yeah, this event was really, really awesome. We met a lot of awesome travelers along the way. And this is such a unique event because we're giving the first chance ever to have our players tell their testimonies about the game and share their experience. What have you thought about the event so far?
Well, I mean, I think it's a really great event to get people together and, as you said, to share their experiences. And also, I'm always for autism awareness because I'm autistic myself. So, yeah.
Yes, and especially with this month, of April being Autism Awareness Month, we want to have that full representation. And again, thank you so much, Corina, for joining me for this interview. So let's get down to it. So, Genshin Impact is clearly a game that's made an impact around the world. And I'm sure that must be pretty exciting to see. So what are your thoughts on the success of the game?
I didn't know it was going to be this big when I first got on board with Genshin. I like it, and so it was kind of like a big shock when it became when it kind of blew up. And I remember that when we were done recording the first part of the game, they were like, okay, you're done. And I'm like, oh, that's the ending? That's so weird. That was that really the ending? Did we find the Traveler's sister? I don't think, whatever. It might make sense once the game's out. I'll figure it out, right? And then I got a call a month later, and they were like, yeah, we need you to come back in. And I was like, is it pickups? Or anything like that? And they're like, no, it's the next part. And I go, what do you mean the next part? And they were like, you're going to be recording this for the next 5 years. And I go, wait, what? No one told me.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Had no idea. So that first that was a shock that I was gonna be on recording for the next 5 years for this game, and then seeing before it came out, and all of the hype that kind of just kept on growing and growing and growing until the game came out. It was kind of just oh my gosh, this is humongous. Okay, wow. And I mean, because I was always told by one of my acting coaches, you never really know what is going to be that one job that you're going to get as an actor that's going to be the one that takes you off. You won't know until way after, and that is so true. Because there are definitely times where I'm like, oh, this is definitely going to be the show that I'm just going to take off and everybody's going to know me now. And it wasn't it until Genshin. I was wrong on everything. I was wrong.
And you're dead wrong. We learned a lesson here. And the part that I like, you're like, all right, is that it? That's the game? All right, well, okay, we'll see what happens when the game comes out. They're like, wait a minute, we're pulling a Lord of the Rings. We need you for 5 more years. The trilogy's not done.
Yeah,
we need you. Come back this instant.
Because sometimes, when you record for video games, especially for recording for video games that are in another language first, sometimes you only record bits and pieces of it. It's not 100% voice acted. I don't know if that makes sense. So I was like, maybe the ending is just, recorded weirdly or something. I don't know. Who knows? But they told me I was done, and I thought that meant I was done. Finished for good. And so, yeah, I was like, oh crap, this is gonna be a very long game. Okay, cool.
Well, you're doing an awesome job so far, and I can clearly see that you have that passion for the game, and it's crazy because, like you mentioned before, you're not only being able to see the game, before its release, but you also have this now a unique experience to voice the mascot character. So when you were going out to audition for this, how did they position the game to you?
So they originally, the studio sent my agent the audition, and I auditioned for Paimon, the female traveler, and then I think it was Amber. It was either Amber or Xiangling, though. I know it was one of those two, but it was 3 characters. And I like basically what they originally said was this is going to be a very down to earth, we want it realistic, all this stuff type of game. And so when I originally auditioned with Paimon was not as high pitched as Paimon is now. I originally had Paimon much closer to my natural tone, which is more like right here. Paimon was right here the whole entire time. And so a little bit high pitched, but not like as high pitched as Paimon is right now. And so like then of course, like, you know, we get into the callbacks. I got the callback like a month later. I walk in and I see Chris Fiella there, and I love him. I worked with him previously on the Somnium Files, and I was so happy to see him because me and him just click. Him as a director, he's a phenomenal director, and so when I walked in, it was like, oh yes, I know you. Good. That automatically just makes you feel good when you walk in and it's a director that you know and are comfortable with. And so yeah, like we didn't change the voice then either. We kept it very close to the audition that I had, which was, you know, Paimon was right here. And apparently, like after I booked the role, the first day that I got brought in, Mihoyo told me that they hired me based off of one line, and it was, drink it, it's good for you. And apparently because I said it like that, with that little bit of like mischievous tone in it, that was what they were like, that's Paimon, right there. That line right there. That was Paimon.
That's amazing.
And then, you know, when we were in on that first session, that was when they set the voice to be the higher pitched, breathy Paimon that you have now.
Yeah, and the great thing is too, and even we're kind of relating to doing voiceover, you know, first it's always great to have a director you can click with. And you know what, let's do something very unique. I've never done this in an interview, but let's say hi to Chris. You ready? We're going to say hi to Chris in 3, 2, 1. Hi, Chris! Okay. If you're watching, thanks for tuning in, Chris, if you're with us. But yes, very, very first off, a huge shout out to Chris for directing the game, and he's done a phenomenal job with all the casting, and just putting it all together is a big step. But you're also going to have times where you are going to face some new challenges as well. Did you face any big challenges while you're doing recordings?
I think the biggest challenge that I had with the recordings, just because there is so much in the game. And it's funny when people are like, like because you record everything a little bit in advance, is anything ruined for you? And I'm like, I forget everything. There's so much information. I forget everything. So it'll be like I remember not too long ago we were recording for stuff, and they were like, oh yeah, it's this character, and I'm like, do I know this character? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, from where? You know, because like they were like, oh yeah, you recorded this a year ago, and I'm like, well, what? How am I supposed to remember all that? Does Paimon even like them? That's the biggest thing. Does Paimon like them or not? Okay, no, yes, but okay, because I need to know how to like react to these people and stuff, and yeah, there are some recurring characters in there that I'm just like, did we talk to this person before? I don't remember anything with this person. Like, so yeah, the biggest challenge is the lore of the game and remembering everything, which luckily though, Mihoyo is on the line for every single recording. So if I do forget stuff, they're right there and they are able to tell me everything, no problem.
I like the part where now that kind of sounds like a surprise. It's like, do I like this person? Yes, no, no. All right, let's get him. Like, pull me back, coach.
Yeah. Well, because another important thing about acting is your relationship with the character. If I'm going to react way differently to a character if Paimon doesn't like them or if Paimon likes them. Like, you talk to people differently depending on your feelings towards that person.
Agreed. And speaking of Paimon, we're going to talk a little bit about Paimon's personality, because you know what? Paimon is a character that loves to eat. But also Paimon has, you know, some very bubbly and honest traits. So is there a way that you can relate to Paimon?
Yeah. It's funny because I got told a long time ago that there's the Chinese Paimon, the Korean Paimon, the Japanese Paimon, and then the English Paimon, which is me. And I got told by Mihoyo that the English Paimon is definitely the sassiest. And I was like, well, that's just because I'm sassy. I'm a very sassy person, so I definitely identify with that sassiness that Paimon has. And I also identify a lot with Paimon. One of the things that was the description of Paimon was they are way talkative. They're supposed to be talkative. They're supposed to be annoying. They're supposed to just keep talking and over-explain everything. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. I do that all the time. I over-explain everything. I also repeat myself. I do a lot of those traits that are classic autistic traits because I want to be very clear in my point. And to the point where it's overkill, and that's what Paimon does, and so I'm very I also understand that part of Paimon very well too.
I like the very interesting correlation between yourself and the character. I find that really, really fascinating because it's like there are different Paimons, and I like that yours is the sassiest, which is the best part. Paimon's gonna tell you how I feel.
I will hold on to that crown. I love that English Paimon's the sassiest. But that's another thing that I do like about acting is that I it's not necessarily that one language did it better than the other, because I think every single language highlights a different part of Paimon. For example, the Chinese Paimon is sweeter. And so they highlight a sweeter side to Paimon that's really cute and adorable. I think that the Japanese Paimon highlights. I think they get more frustrated easy. And when the Japanese does their frustrated tones and stuff like that, it's so cute and adorable. You just want to pinch Paimon at that point. And so. It's very interesting to see what language, what actor that plays Paimon, highlights different parts about Paimon. And it's not to say one is better than the other. It's just a different performance.
Yes, and it does kind of give it gives it its own its own flair, its own personality, and if you think about it kind of puts touch on with the lore of what Genshin Impact is. It's these different universes, so maybe it's like a parallel universes between the actors and how they view Paimon in a really cool way. And what I found really, really funny that you mentioned about how cute the Japanese Paimon is, of course, the infamous Ehe Tenandio one is always the classic line.
Yeah. But that's what I mean by she gets so cute when she gets angry like that, and that line, she did that line so beautifully. It was adorable.
So speaking of the characters and some of the changes, you mentioned before with the expansion of how big this game is, and it definitely increases your social media presence. And I'm pretty sure over time you talk with fans, and what has that experience been like? Interacting with the community, and you have any cool stories to share?
Interacting with the community has, for the most part, been really, really fun. I really enjoy how much the community loves the jokes in Genshin, and how invested they are in what goes on with Genshin. And I think one of the best things ever is because I stream Genshin on Twitch, of course, and I stream it with my some of my coworkers, including the director Chris Fiala. He streams it with me, and Jen Losi, who's the voice of Ganyu, streams it with me. And at the end of the stream, we'll raid somebody, meaning we'll send our Twitch audience to that person, and we. And we always try to pick somebody that doesn't have really that many viewers but are also playing Genshin. And so it's really cute to see their response when they're like, oh my god, that's the voice of Paimon and the voice of Ganyu and the director of Genshin rating us. That's crazy. And that smile that they get and that happiness that we get when we send all those viewers over. It's so cute, and it makes me really happy.
Yeah, and just speaking of how wonderful Mihoyo has been, especially with this event, and just being able to get the community together, and even for my own personal experience, the community has just been absolutely been great. Seeing all the fan art, the amazing cosplays, some of the artwork is just
beautiful, especially for the Lantern Rite Festival, has just been amazing.
Oh my goodness, the fan art that has been made. The fan art is so good. I love like I've gotten so many keychains of Paimon from different vendors on Etsy and stuff, and I like the things that people are making. They're so creative. Oh my goodness.
So all the artists that are listening to the stream right now, we love you guys. Keep it up, man.
Yes.
You guys are just absolutely just killing it out there with the art, the cosplays and everything. So from both of us, keep doing it. You guys are awesome.
You're amazing.
And stop making me go broke, please. Speaking of social media, you mentioned before that you were on the autism spectrum and that you also have a chronic condition. So as we celebrate this wonderful event for Autism Awareness Month and for Spectrum Impact, what can people do differently to be more accepting and understanding of these conditions?
I think what people can do is be more just be more, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess patience is the right word. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not saying that I shouldn't take responsibility as a human being if I do something wrong. But in a situation where I am clearly getting frustrated, it's very hard for me as an autistic person to hide that feeling. Even with people that are fans, and sometimes that kind of boils over, and sometimes I get bombarded with just so much, and people don't I understand that people don't realize that they are bombarding me, but as a person that deals with autism, part of the thing is that you get overstimulated, and sometimes people sending me a whole bunch of messages at one time, and other circumstances, I get overstimulated, and then at that point, my moods can kind of go haywire, and I'm unable to control it. And so most of the time, I think that just with a little bit of understanding of okay, they're clearly stressed out, I'm gonna back off, right? And because I've been in cons where also I've had to basically tell fans to hold off a little bit before they talk to me, just because cons, especially conventions, are huge and there's a lot going on, and that's a lot of stimulation. That's somebody has to go through, and I have to take a lot more breaks than other actors at cons because of that fact. And it sucks because I want to be able to meet every fan, but at the same time, I definitely don't want that to be a bad experience. And if I'm overstimulated and about to have a panic attack because of it, that's not a good experience for anybody.
No.
And so patient is really what it comes down to. And also, I'm touch sensitive, and luckily most of my fans that have been around for a while, shout out to Ablestar. I love him. He's one of my original fans, and has supported me since day one. He sees me at every single con, and he knows that I'm touch sensitive, so he has never asked to hug me. He's never asked to ever and he'll take pictures with me too, but he makes sure that he's never touching me because he knows that I'm touch sensitive. And that little aspect, it's why I actually consider him one of my friends, even though he is a fan. I actually consider him a friend, because that little detail that he remembers is so important to me, and means so much to me, that he understands that and respects that boundary of mine. Because I know other fans that haven't necessarily respected that boundary, and it sucks because, again, I want to be able to make every interaction with a fan great, but if I have to hug everybody, I wouldn't be able to survive that con.
Right.
Just because, again, overstimulation is a thing, and it sucks. And it's really hard to explain what happens to your brain when you go through overstimulation. And the closest thing I think I've ever come to, kind of describing what it is that it feels like my brain is on fire. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody.
It kind of does, yeah. Even for myself, like I mentioned before, I deal with anxiety and panic disorder, so So yeah, you kind of feel like you're getting kind of like in an enclosure, kind of like claustrophobic. Your head's like ringing a million miles per hour, and your heart's beating fast, and you kind of start freaking out a bit.
It's hard for me to process things like information and stuff like that.
Right.
It gets a lot, and so I think patience is like the number one thing that I think people with autism, that's really what we want is just patience, because you know, if we get overstimulated, we need a break. We just need a break. Just let us have 10 15 minutes to breathe for a minute in a small room that's like, you know, not around people. And then we can come back and we'll be fine. You know. Yeah.
Right, and it's those key things. So for everyone that's watching the stream, the key thing is, of course, is acceptance, patience, and of course, the little things go a long way. It's the little things of just saying, hey, you know, someone has a certain condition. Let's respect their boundaries. Let's understand what works for them and what doesn't work, and try to be definitely as accommodating as best as possible. And if someone is overwhelmed, and it can be, you know, for someone that's on the spectrum or dealing with anxiety or anything, give them time. You know, let them process things, because it is very, very hard for someone that is overloaded, overstimulated. So guys that are watching stream, again, you know, it's the little things. Patience is key, and I'm pretty sure everyone is gonna, you know, get through it together, and that's a key thing. And again, we have such great supporters, and everyone in the community has just been absolutely amazing. And so again, shout out to the whole community. You guys are absolutely awesome. You guys are great. Yeah. So moving on to the next question we have, you can only pick one: sticky honey roast or sweet madame?
Sticky honey roast.
Yes.
Sticky honey
roast. I wonder what that's actually like.
I mean, who doesn't like honey and ham? It just goes so well together.
You know, interestingly enough, every time my family does Thanksgiving, we actually don't do turkey. We actually do a honey glazed ham. Funny enough. So yeah, there you go.
It's so much better.
So much better. Thank you.
So much better.
Someone that understands.
No,
yes.
Yeah, no, the ham is the way to go. I'm sorry. Turkey's great, but ham is better. Ham is the way to go.
Hashtag Team Ham. We're
I
going
will die
ham.
on that hill.
Thanksgiving team. Hashtag going ham. Start the trend, Twitter. Let's get it going. So where can people check out your work if they want to get to know you a little bit more about all the future upcoming goals and projects you have? Where can they check you out?
Of course, I have all my social media, which is easy to find me because it's usually just at Corina Betger. So on Twitter, it's at Corina Betger. TikTok, at Corina Betger. Twitch, twitch.tv/Corina Betger. I also have a website, www.corinabetger.com. So I made it really easy because it's just my name on everything. And my website, of course, has like a full list of a lot of the projects that I've been in. And then of course IMDb has some of the projects that I've been in, but like I think the list is better on my website. It's more accurate and it has more stuff on there because IMDb doesn't include like my theater stuff that I've done. Yeah, and then I Twitter, Instagram at Corina Betger. I post on there, and then I stream, all that.
So make sure you're checking out Corina in all those specific locations. That includes Twitch, Twitter, you know, IDMB, everything. Corina's great. Mm-hmm. Go support Corina right now. It is on the stream. It's official. That's right. So is there any final shout outs or anything else you want to add?
Shout out to Mihoyo for letting this happen. And for being an awesome company to work for, and for letting me be me. And then also I would like to shout out my family who has been super supportive throughout all of the years. My parents and my brother and my sister. all of which who have been very supportive with me and my career. And I mean, you know, I'm also non-binary, and they, when I came out with that, they were all very supportive of that too. And I got really lucky to have the family that I have. I got really lucky.
So I agreed. Shout out to Corina's family, and especially shout out to Mihoyo and everybody watching. You know, and a big shout out to Corina for doing this interview with me. It was so much fun, but guys, don't go away just yet. We are here to really celebrate everything that is about the Autism Awareness Month, and this has been an incredible event. We met so many talented people. So guys, make sure you stick around because we got a couple more things coming up here right on the live stream of Spectrum Impact. A massive thank you to Corina. Give Corina a big applause. Thank you so much for taking time to join me for the interview, and I hope you continue to have success. Before we wrap up the event and give some important shout-outs, it's time for a quick tip for Lupical by Razor.
Bird sticks everywhere. Did you know? If you close your eyes, you can't see.
Okay. Thanks, Razor. Anyways, before we wrap up for the raffle, please allow us some time to record everyone's donations, and we will announce the winners via @VoiceofCross. Again, it may take a couple of days to give everyone who donated a fair chance to submit for us to review. Make sure you follow me on Twitter once again for updates @VoiceofCross. I want to thank everyone for tuning in for our first charity community event. A big thank you to everyone who submitted and donated tonight. I want to give a massive thank you to Mihoyo for letting us do this event, and our other sponsor, StatBoost, and to Brandon's Voice. A big thank you to our community director, Aaron, for helping putting this together, along with community manager SunMilk and General Kenobi. A special shout out to my team members and the following voice actor, Paxton Lee, Maddie, Zephyr Kid, and many others. Shout out to the editing team, Jackal, Zetsubo, No Engrish, and Arko. A big thank you to the livestream overlay team, Katie, Bryn, Jared, Irit, and Jenny. Lastly, make sure you give me a follow on Twitter @VoiceofCross and subscribe right here on Dumb Mayhem for future content and become a member for more streams like this. Also, if you're feeling nice, feel free to donate to the page's Kofi at kofi.com/Dumb Mayhem. Now, before I close this out, originally we're going to hit the credits here, but I decided I'm going to stick around about 5 minutes to chat with you guys in the audience. So if you got any questions, if you want to chit-chat just to say hello, just because this is such a big special event, I'm going to pull out my phone right here, and I'm going to be able to read your chat messages. So hello, everyone in the chat of the universe on the internet. What's up, guys? Hey! Impromptu 5 minutes. Let's see what you guys got. Let's see. Let's go, No English. Hi, how's it going? I'm doing okay. I was a nervous wreck, but I'm feeling good now that we're wrapping up. So, not so bad. Not so bad. Hi, Nick from Australia. 1010 Olali. Greetings from the land down under. My Aunt Vivi. Hi, Vivi. Thank you so much. Appreciate you tuning in for the event. Let's see. We got Margaret Chang. Hello. Nice. What is my favorite character? That's actually a good question. My favorite character, I love Jean. I love everything about her in terms of her character design, just how she's just very, very for the people. Just kind of like I resemble that, for the people, helping people out. Very, very big sweetheart, and she's just absolutely beautiful. I stan Jean. Let's see what else we got there. Yo, Nick, we had a great time. I do. Navarro Snow. Okay, this guy is the main Diluc guy I always play with co-op with, and he's the homie, so... ¿Cómo estás, güey? ¿Cómo le va, güey? Hey, what's up, buddy? Sasha Garcia, can I thank you for making ADHD and autism-friendly stream? It was funny, and I missed the last part, but Sasha Garcia, thank you so much. It was my absolute pleasure. In fact, I've been doing autism acceptance and awareness since 2014 when I was working with a professional soccer team as an intern for media. So I've been doing this for quite a few years, but it's nice that I get to do it virtually this time, due to uncertain circumstances. But yeah, glad to have done it. Let's see what else we got. Memento Morimina, thank you. My dog, Lennon Saldiaraga, everyone. I want everybody to message Lennon right now at Lennon and say, yo, you're whack, and you can't beat me in Smash Bros. Everyone, this is the internet. That's it, Lennon. You're getting the internet attacked on you, buddy. Don't really do that. He's nice. He's wonderful, and he's learning to be a doctor, so he's saving lives, so don't do that. That's mean. Just go easy on him a little bit. Let's see what else we got. Astrid Speckles, thank you for submitting once again. Your artwork was lovely. Thank you for voice actor you would like to see act in Genshin Impact. Johnny Young Bosch, he's my biggest inspiration. I do voiceover work as well. So Johnny Young Bosch, I think, needs to be hopping in there. I think it would be great if he does it. Don't know which character he would be because I don't have that kind of insider information, but I think he'd be fantastic. Let's see what else you got. Do I want to play some Genshin, bro? Maybe later. I'm going to probably have some mochi after this. You did a great job. This was really fun to watch. Thank you, Gem and Mim. I appreciate it. Bien, keep up the hard work, my dude. Stay safe out there. Hashtag Diluc Main. Thank you, Navarro Snow, once again. Let's see. Thank you for doing this. Rosalina Starlight. Appreciate it. What do you think the current state of the game? I think the game is fantastic. I think what Mihoyo is doing is something that's revolutionary, that's never been done before. As you can see, they've been doing very, very successful just because of the fact that they have been putting their players first. Even for myself, and just to be clear for everyone watching the stream, I am not a Mihoyo staff member at all. I was very, very fortunate that they wanted it back a special event for the community, and I was able to host it. So, again, thank you, Mihoyo, and everyone else. They always put the players first. So I think that's the key ingredient of why Genshin Impact is doing so successful. Do we know if there will be a Shinyan story soon? If there is a Shinyan story soon, please make it Guitar Hero friendly so I can play like Guitar Hero Shinyan and avoid the frogs. Let's see what else we got. So your trailer was awesome. Angel Pink. Yes, Angel Pink did the beginning trailer. Angel Pink did an amazing job. Shout out to Brasswinds of Freedom. Guys, can we get some Brasswinds of Freedom love in here? Like, what? Hello? Like, those guys did amazing. Everyone give a heart emoji to Brasswinds of Freedom right now. They deserve it. Yeah, more rhythm games. I agree with you. Yes. Let's see who else we got here. I'm trying to catch up with everybody. LLs, man. I'm a bit busy right now. Well, you'll get there one point. You'll finish it eventually. Also, guys, don't forget, if you have the chance, now is the perfect time to donate for Brandon's voice. You have until tomorrow. Make sure you submit your receipts to openhousestudiox@gmail.com. You can find it in the description. And if you like these live streams and how this format is done, don't forget to subscribe and to make sure to be a member, because I'll be doing more live streams like this. And in fact, coming up, I'm going to be doing more live streams with Dub Mayhem and on my professional account, which is at VoiceofCross as well. So the two games we're looking to do, of course, is one of my favorite movie games of all time, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And then we got Digimon Cyber Sleuth. It doesn't have any voice acting, so I will actually be doing the dubbing for the game as we're playing. So stick around for that. That's going to be pretty cool. Let's see what else we got. Kai Sika, and he's got to go. Adios, Kyle. Don't know who you are, but I'm glad you have fun. Yes, Brasswinds of Freedom were amazing. Let's see. Do you think there will be another event like this for autism awareness? It was so good. I enjoyed it all. 101 Ali, I hope so. I hope I get a host again, and I hope to be in the future a host for Genshin for their media content. If they do conventions and stuff, because that's a little bit more of my forte, and I study communications and PR. So that's what I hope to do, and I hope to do more events like this. And if you do like it, make sure you at Mihoyo so they know to keep doing this. Thank you. Can we get a yeehaw for chat? Yeehaw! All right, that's all you get for free. Who was that? That was Peyton Hansen, close to Peyton Manning. Is that why you wanted the yeehaw? Son of a gun. Clever. Let's see what else we got. I'm so happy to see support for people like me, Cloudberry, and I'm glad that we can support you and feel the love. And again, huge shout out to Corina. Let's see who else. Yeah, have you been slacking on Genshin, Nick? I've been kind of busy. Been kind of busy doing this event, so a little bit. But hey, man, that's what Fragile Resin's for, right? Let's see what else we got. Pog, yes, very much Pog. I should probably make sure my resin isn't full. Yes, make sure you do. Loved it all. Great stream. Melanie, oh, Melanie. We gotta share the cheese after this later on. Hopefully no one's leaving just yet, because we got more stuff coming up. You don't want to miss it. And also, can someone clip the yeehaw part? I don't know if anyone's recording this, but if you can clip the yeehaw part, I would love you forever. Thank you. I'm gonna do 2 more minutes of questions. If you guys have it, make sure you're sending it. I'm reading your questions live, so make sure you go ahead and send those in the chat if you got any more questions before I wrap up. Oh yeah, I keep leaning forward. I don't know why that's a thing. Let's see. Oh, my tie is out there. Oh, man, the tie is out there. How do you get you the idea to do stuff like this? What was the reason? Okay, I did mention it a little bit earlier in chat. I've been supporting autism awareness since 2014. I do a lot of conventions in my hometown of Florida and in California. So usually when I talk about voice acting, I talk about how it empowers others. And then one day when I was talking about voice acting, and one of my good friends that is on the spectrum told me how much it impacts her, and she's actually running the stream, by the way. Hi, Jed! She's actually running the stream right now, but she was telling me, like, hey, you know, voice acting and everything empowers me, and it made me feel good that I can talk with people. And then one day I was promoting an event for a con called Florida SuperCon, And I had this lady push me aside, and she said, "Hey, you know, I was at your panel, and you were talking about voice acting and how it can empower people, and especially those on the spectrum. And my son, who's mute, actually spoke for the first time in a few years." And she started crying to me, literal tears, and hugging me, and she was thanking me. And ever since then, it's just been a life-changing moment, and I can never stop doing wonderful work like this. Despite all the anxiety and everything I go through, I'm glad and I'm blessed to be able to do stuff like this. Good question. Thank you for asking. Let's see what else we got. What it's like to donate, but I spent everything I had to go to Vency. LOL. You have until tomorrow. Get a loan. How did the spectrum affect you? I am personally not on the spectrum. However, I am part of the neurodiverse in terms of I deal with severe anxiety, general anxiety disorder, panic disorder, depression, and actually bipolar manic. So I do take medication and everything for that. And that's my big message I want to let everybody know before we kind of wrap up things. There's nothing wrong with seeing a specialist. If you need to get help, see a therapist, see a psychologist. They're there to help you. They're wonderful doctors, and you will get very far. And I wish you the best in your journey, whoever you may be. Last question. Let's see who we got. Thank you again, Melanie. I love you. Love you, Melanie. You're the best. If you get a chance to name a Genshin character by Mihoyo, what name would it be? Would it be named Cross? I think it's pretty gender neutral, pretty fun. You can do a lot of things with it. What is he crossing? Crossing between time zones? Crossing between a hoagie and a hero sandwich? I don't know. Cross. Why not? Thank you for answering that. Keep up the good work, and wish I had the power to help out there, but I'm myself really poor. Well, I hope things get better for you, Chris, and thank you for tuning in. Let's see what else. It's weird to think there are people out there who don't experience constant anxiety. It is a little bit weird at first, just because a lot of times we kind of keep it silent. We don't want to have other people worrying. That's even my big fear. That's why at first it was a little bit hard to come out about it and talk about me having anxiety to my family and friends, just because I don't want to be a bother. I don't want other people being worried. It is a bit difficult, but you know, there is a lot of therapy that's out there, and you can definitely get a lot of good help to live a normal life. Let's see what else we got here. Does the problem affect you in any way? From Do Not Known. In terms of anxiety and everything, absolutely, 100%. Hey, how would I start trying as a VA for Genshin? That is actually a long question that I'm not going to answer tonight, but I would recommend looking on Google for VA tips. And if you want to get started for looking for auditions, look up castingcallclub.com. All right, wish I can donate, but I got to say money, that's for sure. Mikel La Rosa, no problem. I understand everyone's a little bit tight on budget, but I appreciate you being here nonetheless. All right, so I want to thank you, travelers, and may your journey take you to all the wonderful new places. Let's close it out with our good friends Brasswinds of Freedom for the credits.
Well, my fellow travelers, as we come to a close end here on Spectrum Impact, I want to thank all of you for your hard work and your submissions. You know, there was a big saying I started before this whole entire show began, which was, every footstep leaves a footprint. And with that being said, we not only didn't just leave a footprint behind, we left a legacy that is now going to set precedents for future gaming sites, gaming companies, and future charities to behold. We've set an example of something that's exemplified things that has never been done before. And it's all thanks to you, our fellow travelers. My final words to you is everything we do can set a new action, set in tone for something even greater and better because you have the ability to do so. So remember, stay strong, stay well, and may your journey bring you prosperity.
Thank you everyone for coming to the show. I just want to